I spent 22 years in a relationship before I finally had the courage to close that chapter. And here's what I know now. Leaving wasn't the hardest part. Figuring out who I was and intentionally creating a life on the other side was. I took the long way, but for at least 10 years, I've been showing women how to take the shorter route. So if there's a chapter of your life that you know is complete, but you're terrified of what happens after you close it, this conversation is for you. Knowing something isn't serving you doesn't mean you're ready to leave it. I knew when I was around 30 that this relationship wasn't working. I knew I had already outgrown the relationship when I was around 30. My kids were young, and it wasn't until I was 42 until I actually had the courage to leave or close that chapter and leave. You see, because the relationship that I was in was very familiar to me. I knew how to handle him. I knew how to put out the fires. I knew when things were good. I knew when things were bad. I knew how to avoid. I knew how to shove things under the rug. I knew how to walk on eggshells. I knew how to tiptoe. I knew. It was familiar. It was something that I, from birth, was around. Courage isn't necessarily a dramatic moment. It's a lot of little moments that add up. And so from around the age of 30, when I realized, like, yeah, this is not the dream that I had in my mind. This is not the husband that I had in my mind. This is not the life that I had in my mind. So I knew at around 30 that I didn't fit in here anymore. And as each year went by, it was more and more of that, of really outgrowing this life. You know, I love my kids and I even loved my husband then. Couldn't be the husband that I truly wanted. And at that time, I literally didn't know who I was to attract that type of a husband. I was so young. Closing a chapter requires support. And that's one thing that I wish I had back then, because it would have helped me to see, like, I was really strategic. I did a great job. I left. But the parts where I needed the support was to stay left, to stay gone. Because after 5 months, we were back together. And not that I regret anything about my story, because it all happened for a reason, and the same with you. But looking back now, I can say, and also having supported women and men through big life transitions for over 10 years now, I can say, you need support. You need the right support. Now, when I say right support, what I mean is aligned support specifically for you, right? So I always tell people, like, when you go to hire a therapist or a coach or a mentor or somebody, shop around for that support. Give yourself options and really tap in to what you need for support. So what that looks like would be, first, clarify, what support do you need? Like, I had a woman contact me recently for after the divorce. Now the ex-husband is taking her back to court. And, you know, I always tell women who come to me about divorce, no way, shape, or form a legal representation, right? Just to be clear, I help you with the inside, and then the outside shows up. And she was like, no, I understand that. I am looking for the internal support. And so this is where shopping for the aligned person, the aligned support for you comes in. So what that starts with you being super clear on what it is that you want. Some people don't want internal support. Some people want the legal support. They want to protect their assets, and that's fine. But I can tell you from a completely different perspective, without having the emotional support, without having the internal support, all of that outside stuff can easily fall apart. And I've actually witnessed that over and over again. So you being very clear on what it is that you need for yourself is the support that you're looking for. So when you shop for a therapist, when you shop for a mentor, a coach, or whoever, you want to tap into how you feel with this person. Are you on edge with this person, or are you resistant to speak to this person, or do you feel comfortable with this person? Do you feel like, oh man, I could just like talk to you all day, I could tell you stuff all day. Really listen to your body and how you feel with this person, because that's gonna be the buyer's decision. Don't confuse courage with impulsivity, because you want to, and this is the whole thing about energy, and this is why I teach women about energy. It's literally a guidance system for you. It is literally a compass for you. When you tap into you, when you tap into what you want, having that clarity first is so important. Get fucking clear on what you want, okay? And if you don't know what you want, that's fine. Take a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle, okay? And then if all that you can think about is what you don't want, that's fine. Girl, give yourself a break. It's okay. Write down on the left-hand side, don't want, okay? And list it out. That's fine. Then on your other side, now that you have a list of what you don't want, you can counteract what you don't want with what you do want. So on the other side of the paper, you write what you do want. Look, here's the thing about having support, right? A lot of women that I've talked to over the years cannot even think about what they do want. They only know what they don't want. They don't want to be disrespected. They don't want to be moms to grown men. They don't want a man child for a husband. They don't want all of this responsibility. They don't want all of this heaviness. They don't want to, they can list off really easily what they don't want, but they don't know what they do want. And that's the clarity. That's what you need to have when you step into a new chapter. When you close out an old chapter and step into a new chapter, your clarity is actually the guidance system and the navigation system and the compass for you to step into what it is that you do want. Because, unconsciously are manifesting our lives by default and not by design. And when you do this practice, when you do what I just showed you, you're intentionally creating a life by design and no longer by default. And I know that's what you want. I know you don't want to keep creating by default, because you keep looking at your life going, that is not what I want. That's not the experience I wanted. This is not the relationship that I want, right? It's about planning. It's about preparing. It's about strategizing. It's about being really intentional. Most people plan how they're getting out. Few people plan who they're becoming, who they're stepping into, who they truly want to be, the experience that they truly want to have, right? So this is about you. What do you want to feel like when you wake up in the morning? What do you want to feel like when you go to sleep at night? What do you want to think about? What are the experiences in life that you want to have? Who's with you? Who's not with you? How do you feel? What do you look like? Right? So this is the part. This is the centerpiece. This is the part where you get to create your life by design. This is the part where you get to intentionally create a life you love. This is what I've done. This is what I've taught my clients for over 10 years. It's about being dialing in and being really specific on what the fuck you want. Another great exercise that you can do is write that question out. What do I want? So you do the do's and the don'ts list first. That gives you the clarity, right? Now you can say, okay, this is what I don't want. This is what I do want. And then now that you know what you do want, then you can, I did this with a friend of mine. We did I think we did 14 days straight of just journaling on what do I want? What do I want? Now that's very general. So if you want to get specific, you can. What do I want to feel like in the morning? What do I want to feel like when I go to sleep at night? What do I want to feel like day in and day out? What do I want to experience? What vacations do I want to have? Who do I want to be in my life? Who do I want with me? What kind of a partner do I want? How do I want to feel? How do I want to look? Right? You're not just closing something out, you're creating something. Look, the woman that I was when I was in my other life versus who I am now and in this life, two completely different people. Yeah, I look the same. Still got the blonde hair, a little bit of grays now, or a lot of grays, whatever. Yeah, I've gained some weight, but I'm the same person on the outside, but on the inside, I am completely different. See, the woman that I used to be was a people pleaser, walked on eggshells, did everything to try to please her husband, thinking that was going to bring me happiness. If he was happy, I was happy. If we had this happy life, then I would be happy, right? Always doing, always giving, always putting my energy out and never even stopping for a moment to take energy in, to tap into my own energy and to feel and to be, who am I becoming? Because we're always evolving and changing, right? So this was about me taking charge, having the courage to close that chapter out and to step into a new chapter and to really design my life from now on, right? Having that experience, I didn't want to have that experience again. Because I have 2 children, I love them. There was happy moments, there was happy times. There's things in my past life that actually everything in my past life I wouldn't trade or I love even my past life because it showed me who I am today. So what I'm saying is I don't regret anything from the past. And now knowing what I can create in my life, because I am the creator of my life, because I am from the creator. So that means I can create, and I do create. Leaving that 22-year relationship is just one thing that I've done that has completely changed my life. I got like a million others I could share with you. But the point is that you are the creator of your life. And if your life is not going the way you want it to go, well then you're ready to close out that chapter, then you can do that. You can absolutely do that. You don't need to know every detail of this chapter before you close this one out. But you do need to decide what you want this next chapter to be like. And if you're standing between the life that you've known and the life that you want to create, start with 60 seconds. Stop, come back into your body, and breathe. I created a free 60-second reset called Just Fucking Breathe. You can grab it down below the link or just go to justfknbreathe.com because you don't need to figure out your whole entire life out today. Sometimes the next aligned decision starts with just one fucking